Hey guys, welcome to another episode of Let's Talk with the Saw right here on Superlative Radio. So this is the final of Wandavision that we're going to talk about. And
Sorry
again,
to see it go.
Yeah, me too. If you haven't, don't forget, click like, subscribe, and you can check all of our other stuff through the links for our other channels there on the channel tab right above us.
Yeah, we got all that going now. We got all the different YouTube pages set up. Don't make sure you get over there and visit and subscribe to each one of them if you don't mind.
Yeah, all of them.
Yeah, subscribe to them all because the main one, of course.
Or we're going to have to send Vinny.
Yeah, we don't want him to have to do some painting. You know what I'm saying? No, it's just a matter, and the new intro too for the All in the Pen pages there too.
Yeah, you'll check it out. Check it out.
But yeah, check it all out. Subscribe.
Don't forget to subscribe,
please.
So, anyway, as I said last week, we will be doing a Pennyworth show as well. So watch for that because we're going to do Let's Talk for each show we talk about every week, so that there's more directed towards what you want to watch. So if you only watch WandaVision, you only got to watch this show. If you only watch Pennyworth, then you only have to watch that one. If you only watch whatever, you only have to watch each show. You don't have to watch them all and then go, oh God, I got to wait 20 minutes so they get through that show that I don't watch to get to the one I do. So, and it saves us from putting timestamps and confusing everybody. Then this way it's just right to the one you want to watch.
Yep.
Anyway, that said, there we go. There's
he just loves to do that.
Okay, so WandaVision, episode 9, the last one, and it picks up right where the last one left off.
Yep,
and
right up.
What'd you think of the episode overall?
Overall, I liked it very much. I was enjoying it. My problem was I was watching it, and all of a sudden,
it was over.
Mommy, it's over. Yeah, it was gone.
I know.
And I was like, oh, come on, you know.
Yeah.
And the thing, though, I didn't realize, like, it's a good thing I talked to you after, is I didn't realize there was another tag at the end of it.
Yeah, so if you haven't watched the episode, make sure you watch all the way through the credits, the whole credits, because there's two end credit scenes. There's the first one, which comes after the regular WandaVision one, where it's like all the graphics and stuff. And then there's another one partway through the just black and white credits. Yeah. So
I didn't realize
that. There's two of them.
As soon as I saw the first one, I went, okay, I got it. And then you said to me, you said, did you see both of them? And I was like,
well, I knew there would be two because it was the last episode. I knew they would do that. I just knew there was going to be two because they do that. I mean, geez, sometimes in Marvel movies they have three in credit
I've never seen that before, but okay.
But anyway, I knew they were going to do two for sure because they always do one after the brief initial credits, and then they do one usually after all the credits roll. But I knew that was coming with WandaVision.
But it's a good thing you told me. But yeah, so I got the whole thing, and I was just sorry to see it end. Let me tell you, it was a good little series.
Yeah. So there was a lot revealed at the end, and I was pretty bang on with a lot of stuff there.
Just the one thing that you had wrong.
What'd I have wrong?
The Vision thing.
Oh, about how they brought him back. Well, that was just a theory as what I thought they were going to do. But yeah, I knew they were bringing him back.
Yeah, but other than that, you were pretty much spot on.
So I know that if you guys are watching, you're like, well, you said Mephisto was behind everything, and we don't see Mephisto. Well, I'll explain how there's so much to Mephisto in the episode that he's still easily involved. So like I said, it picks up right where the last one left off with Wanda facing off against Agatha, and Agatha's got the two boys on the, on the strings of her magic. And that's when she finds out, of course, Wanda finds out that Agatha absorbs other witches' powers and whatever, and calls her the Scarlet Witch and all this stuff. But Wanda throws a car at her, and then next thing you know, the spectral Vision shows up, and the two of them get together, and it looks like he's going to crush her head. And then the actual Vision shows up, and there's a whole. Did you notice in that when he grabs him and he goes down the street and he's dragging him through the street? It's right back to. That's a nod back to Age of Ultron, when Iron Man in the Hulkbuster had Hulk and was dragging him across the street.
I didn't remember that scene.
No,
but okay, no.
Yeah, that's what it is. Okay. It's a nod back to that, where he's like dragging him across the street, trying to knock Hulk out so that he doesn't hurt anybody.
Okay. No, I didn't remember
Okay,
that. But
yeah,
okay.
no, it's a direct call.
That was lost on me, that one.
Yeah. There's a lot of them. It's the same thing with when she throws the car after she realizes when she hits her with her power and she absorbs it.
Yeah.
And then she hits her with the car. That's a nod back to Civil War when Scarlet Witch throws all the cars at Iron Man.
Okay.
In the airport scene
Okay.
when she pulls all the cars out of the parking
Been a while
garage.
since I've seen them, but it's, so the little things like that don't stick with me. So I guess I miss the subtleties.
Yeah, so
you know.
that's what that was. So it's like when she's pulling all the cars out of the parking garage and she slams them down on Iron Man because he's like, "Oh, you missed," and she's like, "Oh, yeah," and then he gets slammed with all the cars.
Oh, okay.
Well, it's the same idea where she throws the car at Agatha.
Okay. Missed it, but
Yeah.
if you say so, I didn't catch the. I'd say the subtleties are lost on me in a lot of those because I don't catch the sub references and all the things like that. I'm not the
I know.
the fan you are.
Not everybody can be like me.
No, of course not. That's just what it is. Hey,
Anyway,
it's your thing.
Yeah. It's not the only thing.
That's right. You know
Anyway,
it.
So anyway, yeah. So then it goes on to, of course, Wanda follows Agatha downtown, and Vision ends up fighting Spectral Vision, and so when they go downtown, of course, it's revealed that as Agatha lets some of the people go, they start to surround Wanda, and Wanda realizes she's actually the one who's at fault for everything, and then she starts to let the people go, and of course she opens up the hex, and when she does, Hayward and all his goons come driving in,
Right.
and they end up coming up to the town square where everybody is, and it basically comes down to the big brawl that everybody's been waiting for 8 episodes. And then it shows up, the big fight with everybody. While Wanda's trying to fight Agatha and Vision is fighting Spectral Vision, she tells the boys to handle all the military guys, and they do a pretty good job of it. And then Hayward gets out of the vehicle. He's going to shoot the 2 boys. And Monica jumps in the way, and we get to see her powers in action.
Yeah.
Where she manages stops the bullet.
Does the Neo thing.
Yeah, and then there's a cute little quip between her and the boys.
The boys, yeah.
Where she's like, he's like, "I like your trick," and she's like, "I like yours too."
Yeah, very good. Yeah.
It's cute. But yeah, so we finally get to see her powers in action a little bit in this episode. Because, we get to see her, of course, break out from the fake Quicksilver.
Yeah.
Who we learn is actually a guy named Ralph Boner.
Yeah, Boner.
And he's like, Boner.
Yeah.
But yeah, she could see the magic in the necklace and how
That's right, exactly.
Agatha was controlling him. So it's pretty cool how the way her powers work, and getting to see them in action was pretty neat. And of course, Vision gets into the library where he's fighting the other Vision, and they start talking about how they're basically both Vision but not Vision.
Right.
And of course, Vision uses the example of Theseus's ship, which
It's funny how it all.
Yeah, if you don't know what that means, basically
Just Google it.
Basically, Theseus's ship is a ship that gradually, as each plank in the ship gets rotted or damaged, it gets replaced to the point where eventually the whole ship has been replaced by.
So it's not the ship anymore.
So is it still the ship of Theseus or isn't it? Well, the answer is it is and it isn't. It's both. So it's the same idea. And of course, then what happens after they're talking and whatever, his Vision does he touches Spectral Vision on the blue gem that they integrated into him, and he opens up all of his memories, and then he says, "I am Vision," and he shoots up to the sky, and that's the last we see of him in this episode. So Vision is back. Not quite how I imagined it, because like I said to you, I thought they were gonna Scarlet Witch was gonna. I thought Wanda was gonna actually just merge the two together. Is what I thought. Is she was going to take her memories of Vision and her thoughts and love of him and impose it over the other one, and then her magic was going to weld the two of them basically into one. But that didn't happen.
That didn't work. No.
And of course, Agatha makes the reference to the Darkhold when she's talking about Wandavision, or not Wandavision. Sorry, when she's talking about Wanda being the Scarlet Witch.
Right.
And she's explaining how the Scarlet Witch works. And, of course, she makes a reference to the fact that Scarlet Witch is even more powerful than the Sorcerer Supreme.
And we find out that it is.
Which, if you think about it, when you look at how powerful Doctor Strange is, and if you think that Wanda's even more powerful than him, then that really puts her into a whole other category. That puts her on the same level of power in the MCU as like Captain Marvel and Thor. But she always was. I mean, I can remember, I don't know, I think it's 4 or 5 years ago, Kevin Feige said straight up back then, he's like, Wanda's the most powerful hero we have. Oh, and okay. and hands down, I mean, he's right. I mean, when you look at what she can do, I mean, because when at the end of the episode, when Vision says, "Before I go, tell me what I am," and she explains to him,
right.
And she's like, "And you're the part of the Mind Stone that still lives within me."
That's right. Yeah.
And that's why when you see her creating him, when he's first creating, and then when he's dissolving at the end, you see the yellow. That's the part of the Mind Stone that's still a part of her. Okay. So that's what that is. So while the Mind Stone may not exist anymore completely, it does partially still exist in Wanda.
With her, yeah.
And that's why she was able to recreate like that. So
now, will we see Vision again?
Oh, yeah, but it'll be the white one, Spectral Vision.
Okay.
Yeah, it will. I know for a fact we're going to see him again. I just don't know when he's going to turn up.
Now, are we going to... we're going to see Wanda again, but later.
Yeah. So at the very end of the episode, of course, Wanda shows up. Well, before we get to the end, actually. She gets into a fight with Agatha, and she tricks her by casting runes on all...
Yep. Plays her trick on her.
All 6 walls of the hexagon, of course, and then she can't do anything.
That's right.
And then Wanda's the only one. She's like, "Thanks for the lesson," or whatever.
That's right, exactly. The only witch that can do anything is the one that made the runes.
Yeah.
Or the thing, right? Exactly.
And so that's how she beats her. And of course, we get to see Wanda in her new costume, which is freaking amazing. That was a freaking amazing costume. And of course, then she heads off. Home with Vision and the boys. They put the boys to bed, and of course that's basically when...
And everything dissolves around
everything.
From there, yeah.
She brings the hex all away and dissolves, and it all ends with Wanda walking off
into the sunset, as it were.
Yeah, leaving the empty lot that she first walked into.
That's right.
And then of course she... we only get to see Darcy very, very briefly when she runs into him, Hayward's Humvee. And Agent Woo was pretty good in this episode, too, with his whole
he had a
bluffing thing.
Yeah.
And then he calls them after, "Can you get here within the hour?"
Yeah.
I like him. He's a good character.
He is.
Since they introduced him in Ant-Man versus the Wasp, he's a pretty good character. I hope we get to see a lot more of him because he was really good. I hope what happens is that he ends up actually joining SWORD. I think that would be really cool if he joined SWORD instead of staying with the FBI. Because, like, at the end, of course, that in the first end credit scene, of course, Monica and Wanda talk or whatever. But then this woman walks up to Monica and says they're looking for you in the theater.
Yep.
She goes in and she's like, "What?" And then, of course, the woman reveals that she's a Skrull. And she said, "I'm here on behalf of an old friend of your mother. He wants to meet with you." And she's like, "Where?" And she points up. Well, that, I believe, is a direct reference to Nick Fury and the space station that he was on at the end of Spider-Man: Far From Home. Now, because the way it works is in the timeline is Endgame happens, okay?
Right.
They finally beat Thanos and whatever, and then WandaVision takes place less than a month after Endgame.
Okay.
And then Spider-Man: Far From Home takes place after that. Which, again, remember when I told you about the Nick Fury getting up and so you could see the hex on it? Is because he was reviewing what had happened and waiting for Monica to come up and meet with him.
So they don't put them out.
They're not necessarily put out chronologically. No. So that's
That's, I guess, why it's sort of confusing in a way too sometimes,
Yeah.
because you don't know where everything sort of fits in. Mm-hmm. Well, obviously you do, but
Yeah.
you know,
But so that takes place. So the Spider-Man: Far From Home takes place after WandaVision. So that's why. But I believe that because of course that's all gonna have something to do with, of course, the Agents of Sword series they're gonna do, and of course Secret Invasion and all that. So I mean it's all gonna take place. Then of course, if you watch through the remainder of the credits, you see the last scene, which is Wanda in a cabin, and I was trying to figure out whether she was actually like somewhere in the Rocky Mountains or if she was off in Europe, in mountains in Europe or something. She's in this little cabin, and you see her sitting on the porch. She gets up, she walks in to get more tea or whatever,
Yep.
and then it goes back into the room, and you see Wanda in her costume, and she's floating there, and she's reading the book of Darkhold, the Darkhold book or whatever, and she hears the boys call out to her.
yep,
Now, that is because
that leads into something else.
well, that's going to
obviously.
lead right into Doctor Strange and the Multiverse of Madness. Because, see, what's happened is, and that brings us back to the commercial about Nexus that they
Right,
had.
okay,
Well,
yeah.
Nexus, basically what a Nexus point is it's like the center point of all realities. So all reality points connect to a Nexus point, right? And that's why when Doctor Strange is about the Multiverse of Madness, and Spider-Man, which is the third one, is called No Way Home, is also going to have stuff about the multiverse in it as well. So it's all connected, right? So what's going to happen is, I'll bet you we're going to see the boys come back, because it's rumored they're on the set of Doctor Strange 2. So I think they're going to come back. And Darkhold, that book, is a direct connection to Mephisto. That's his book. That's one of his dark books. So
Okay.
that's why I believe that
So this is where everything is
Mephisto is
gonna-
all like, I think Mephisto is going to show up. And I think what we're seeing is, now she was doing an astral projection thing, which we last saw in Doctor Strange, where he was asleep and you could see his astral projection form sitting there reading books.
That's right.
And he was studying. She's doing the same thing, only she was doing it while she was awake. So that's showing that she's even more powerful than he is. So, and I believe that's what we're going to see, is we're going to actually see all of this come. And I think she's going to end up working. I think initially what's going to happen is she's going to come off probably as the villain a little bit in Doctor Strange, but I don't think she's going to be. I think she's going to end up working with Doctor Strange to fix everything. I think that's what's going to happen. Because, I mean, if she's that
Now, when is
powerful-
that out? Next year?
May next year, I believe.
May next year.
When it
Yeah.
comes
So
out,
we got to
yeah.
wait a while.
May
Okay.
2022. Yeah, so. But I mean, it's just, again, there's so much in each of these episodes. And I really think that when you watch them all, now I'm going to go back and watch the whole series beginning to end, one right after the other, because I think that'll be another way to actually.
Now that you can see them back to back, it'll
Yeah,
give you a little
you
more
kind of can watch it
perspective,
all,
as it were.
and you get
Yeah.
a different, and they see what I can pick up on and what I miss. Because I'll probably do, if there's enough to talk about, I'll do another episode of this on the whole series
as one whole
yeah, thing, where
Okay.
we'll talk about the whole series and all the different things that connect and whatever.
Okay.
If there's enough there to do, I mean, because I think I've been pretty thorough.
Make your notes and see what
But
you get
yeah,
and go from there. Yeah, if you feel you need to do a rehash, I guess, if you want to call it that.
Well, just maybe all the stuff that I've missed or
Yeah,
not talked about, but
Sort of bring.
But I do believe that's how we're going to see the other characters come back. The boys are going to come back. I believe this is how, of course, we're going to see, the X-Men come into play. I think all of it's going to interconnect, right? Like it's all just going to connect
Okay.
to something else.
Well, we'll see where it goes.
So, but I mean,
But yeah,
and
great series. I enjoyed it. And
Mark,
if
you said you
haven't
didn't
seen
watch it yet, eh? Mark hasn't seen the last
Yeah.
one yet,
If you haven't seen it, check it. Do it.
but Kim did, and Kim's here
Yeah.
today. She's sitting off camera.
Yep.
What'd you think of it?
It was good.
Yeah.
There you go.
See? Kim thought it was good too. The whole series, right? Yeah, she was sad to see it. And what'd you say about Wanda? She's your favorite hero?
She is.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
It was good. I agree.
Up to this point, it was Black Widow and Iron Man, wasn't it? Now it's Wanda. Yeah,
There you
Wanda's
go.
pretty cool. She is really cool. They've made her way better than they did in the comics too. So, but yeah, it was. I mean, and all the little nods.
I think I'm
to
going to
it.
go out and buy myself a fish and call it Wanda.
Wanda. Frig.
Fish called Wanda. Okay. Okay. Off
Clam
to a
up.
whole a whole other left turn there. Yeah.
Anyway, yeah, no, it was a really great episode. I really enjoyed the whole series. I am so, of course, now March 19th is Falcon and the Winter Soldier, and I am just
Chomping at the bit.
Now next week Disney Plus is there is a new show. I can't remember what it's called. There's another new show that they're releasing for Marvel that's going to talk about.
I thought there was a break in between.
Yeah, but there's another new show that's going to talk about the shows or something. I can't remember exactly. As I know more, I'll tell you.
All right.
But we'll watch that too.
Okay.
But I'll let you know what it is. And
Please do.
what it is. But
And
anyway,
we'll
it's
check
going to
it.
be 2 weeks before we get to see the next Marvel show, because that'll be Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Of course, don't forget to check out our episode for this on Pennyworth. You can find that in the playlist. And yeah, so.
So we've done that one, and yeah,
That's
we
it.
got it. We'll talk about Pennyworth on the
Anything
next
else you want to mention about the WandaVision episode before we end on?
No, I just enjoyed it thoroughly, and I can't say enough good about it.
Me
really,
either.
I can't.
And
I really
it only
can't.
got better as it went on.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, I pity the people that were like, oh, this first episode's stupid, I don't get it, or they didn't get the second one. And it's like, that's
Well, I
because
mean-
you're an idiot and you're not paying
No,
attention.
you know what the problem is? There's a lot of people that don't.
They didn't appreciate
No,
what it
they
was.
don't know the Dick Van Dyke Show,
Yeah.
and they don't know, the Brady Bunch, and they don't, they don't. It's
But even still, like, the thing is they should be, like, these are people who are complaining that, oh, it's not this, or it's not that, or it's not whatever. But if you've been watching the Marvel movies all along, these people, like, I just don't understand. Marvel doesn't just slam you with stuff right out of the gate. They build everything. Like, when they did the first Iron Man, they had no idea it was going to go into all of this. Okay? Then they did Iron Man 2, right? They did Hulk. And then they did Thor. And then they did Captain America. And then they were like, holy crap, we can actually pull the Avengers together. And they did.
Yep.
Okay? But they didn't really start laying the groundwork for a lot of the MCU stuff. They threw little hints here and there throughout those movies because they didn't know if it was actually going to go anywhere. But by the time Avengers hit, and I've said this before, once
Yep.
Avengers hit, they knew then there was going to be, and they started to make plans for things. And you start to see these little Easter eggs and hints that are thrown
Yep.
out. So, I mean, if you watched WandaVision and thought in the first episode we were going to see a drop-down kick-ass fight or something, like, you're out to lunch.
Yeah.
You had to know that they were building towards something, and that whatever it was they were showing you had a purpose and it meant something. If you've been watching all those movies, that's one thing you should get from it.
there's no immediate gratification.
No.
in it. No, it's
And that's the problem with today's
Oh,
young
that's been
people.
the
They
problem for a
expect
while.
everything like
Yeah.
this, and that's not the way Marvel does it. That is not the way. They've never done it in the comics, and they're not doing it in the shows,
No.
in the movies.
So,
So don't expect.
be prepared for that.
For
the next stuff that comes up. It's
Yeah.
not going to be instant.
Same thing with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. Just remember, it might be a little more action from the first episode than these have been, but
It's still not
it's
gonna
still-
be-
It's going to
yeah.
be 6 episodes. You can't expect there to be a big draw, big out brawl till probably the end of the 4th, beginning of the 5th episode. Because that's essentially what we're getting. We're getting another basically movie drawn out over 6 episodes.
Yeah.
So, you got to think of it in the same way as a movie. When does all the action in a movie happen? During the 3rd act. Well, that would be episodes 5 and 6 of
Right,
the TV series.
Exactly.
So,
So be prepared for that.
Yeah.
Be ready.
and it was the same thing with Wanda. We really didn't see anything pick up until episode
Well, they were
5
just
or
sort
6.
of they were just
right?
putting the pieces in place to let you see what was going on, and that's
Exactly.
what it is. So
You
you
know?
know,
So
there
think
you
of
go.
it. Just remember, when you're sitting down, you're watching these shows. That's how Marvel's doing it. It's everything builds towards something else. And when you're watching, watch. If you want to be a real fan, watch for what they're doing. Pay attention to what you're seeing on screen and what you're hearing. And it may not even connect between what you're hearing and what you're seeing. What you're seeing might connect to something else, and what you're hearing may connect to something different. As I've said many times. So, anyway. That said, thanks so much for watching, guys. Check out our Pennyworth show. That should be up in the next day or two, right here in the same playlist. And we will see you guys next week for more Let's Talk, right here,
Have a good week.
Superlative Radio.